Hey Buckaroos, hard to believe it, we have made it through 52 lessons. That's what this lesson is, 1 year's worth. This is gonna be a really short lesson, okay? It's New Year's, hey, come on, hey, whatever. Anyway, what I decided to do in looking back over the lessons of the past year and knowing what this course was supposed to be about, which was having somebody who's just become a PD or is about to become a PD, and they don't know anything, to kind of give them a basic understanding of the job so that at least, they got a running start, okay? So I went back through the lessons that I did, and, a lot of them are for medium PDs who've been doing it a while, other ones for, they've been doing it a long time. Some were for jocks, that they would get the most out of it. I isolated 9 of the basic lessons for beginners. So if you're not a beginner, you may not get anything out of this, although it might be a nice refresher for you. But what I did was there's 9 lessons here, and this is what I'm going to go through in this lesson, and it'll be really quick. It'll be like 20 seconds each. It'll be like, in this lesson, this is what it was about. Here's what you're going to get out of it, and that's pretty much it. and then the next lesson, whatever that number was. And links will be below for sure. As a matter of fact, you could stop right here, right now, and just go right down to the links and just start knocking them off one by one. And at the end of it, you're going to have a pretty good understanding of the basics of being a radio program director, which is what this entire course is about. It's how to be a radio PD. Let's go through these 9 lessons. They are not in order the way they came up in the course so far, because I was sort of bouncing around when I could figure out how to actually explain something, then I would add it in. But I'm going to put these more in order of how you would use them as you start ramping yourself up. The first one is music scheduling software. That's lesson 20. It's pretty basic. It's basically, this is how music scheduling software with a computer, this is how it works. And so I, went into Music Master, and I take you through a little dive through that so you can understand, what's going on. The next one sort of continues along with that, and that is using Music Master, the computer, to set up and control tempo and some other things that are within Music Master, or really any music scheduling program for that matter. They're all the same. They just have the pieces in different parts. Then comes lesson 14, which is also part of the computer, but it's also talking about different things like day parting and packeting and how you would get prepared for a major ratings period. So that's lesson 14. Then we move on to 26, something everybody needs, no matter who you are, to understand radio research. This is an interview I did with Jeff Vidler, and it's really, really good. He does Signal Hill research, Signal Hill Insights. These are the basics that you'd need to know about radio research. Whether you have money or not to do radio research, at some point you will. Then we move on to building hot clocks. These are the concepts of how you'd actually lay out an hour of your programming. Just 1 hour I do, but you're going to do a whole bunch of different hours. But I explain what's going on, how you should think, and all of those type of stuff. And then there's a few lessons on hot clocks. I think I did a series of 3, but this is the first one that you really gives you a good idea, because I'm literally building a clock before your eyes. Then comes final thoughts on hot clocks, where I go a little bit deeper, things that you should be thinking about your clocks when you're building them in different day parts. This should be helpful to you. Next comes format creep, which is really, really important, and it entails all of this, that's come before. And basically what this is, it's a way of making sure that your radio station doesn't move. Once you set it up the way you want it and it sounds the way you want it to sound, it's really easy for a station to start moving its sound, and you don't even know what's happening until you look up one day and you go, wow, my station sounds like crap, and I don't know why. Well, this is why, and I'll show you how to avoid that. Then comes lesson 19, which you're going to have to deal with jocks at some point. You're the PD. You're going to have to do air check sessions with them. You're going to have to talk to them and, point them in directions of how you want them to sound. This was the best radio advice from a PD to me when I was a jock that I ever got. So I'm passing it on to you so that you can pass it on to your jocks and understand the whole thing. It's really powerful and it's really great. And finally, the last lesson is something that I think is incredibly important, and it really goes for anything. It has nothing to do with radio, but you can use it for radio. I did it the second half of my career when I finally sort of ran into this and then like, wow, that's super powerful. And that is making your intuition help you build a better radio station, or making your intuition help you do anything. You literally can ask yourself a question and you will get a nagging answer, and the answer will pretty much always be correct. If you fill yourself with enough data and enough information prior that your mind has enough data to work on it and come up with the right answer. Tough to explain right here, but if you watch that lesson, you will definitely get the idea, and it is super powerful. I can't recommend this enough. Next lesson is going to be on rock with Dave Lang. Dave has graciously done 2 lessons with me. One, the history of rock, and then the second one, which is really going into really specifics about an active rock format. What's your library size? What's the rotations? How do you cut up eras? All that sort of stuff. Stuff that's really usable. And a lot of other things that really pertain to any format. So there are going to be some really nice lessons. Anyway, thanks for being along with me. I really appreciate it. It's been a learning experience for sure, probably for both of us. YouTube is a trip, man. It really is. It's a different kind of animal, as is video and editing and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, it's been fun. It's nice to learn new things. Kind of cool. As a matter of fact, I was actually thinking, let me know in the comments below if you actually want me to go through. There's a lot of courses like this, which is how I learned how to video edit on YouTube, where they teach you how to do, basic stuff and some pretty cool stuff and elaborate stuff. But I was sort of thinking about doing a lesson where, if you're a jock, because I really, really believe this. My God, I really believe this. If you're a jock right now, and especially if you're starting out and you want to get ahead in the business, or you're a PD, you really need to know how to do this stuff. You need to know how to video edit. You really do. And you need to know how to do videos, because they make you, I don't know quite how to put it. They make you more important in the scheme of things, because you're not just a radio person, you're also a video person and a TV person. I really believe at this point, from everything that I've seen doing the course and just other stuff, it kind of boils down to this. If you're doing TV on YouTube, there's no difference. You could just as well be on ABC television network or NBC. Doesn't really matter what the sending unit is. So it'll be really helpful for you to, learn those skills. And anyway, so what the lesson I was thinking about doing was just, taking you through the studio I have. I have a small studio here that I record on. This is the editing room. This is where I edit the stuff. I mean, you don't need any of this stuff. I just got carried away. I'm retired, and I can get carried away because, time is free, basically. But, you definitely need to know how to edit, and you won't really need a whole lot of equipment. Anyway, I'll take you through, if you're interested, I'll take you through my studio and what I have if you want to kind of go for the, more full tilt version. And then I'll take you through, this is the minimum you need, and you can do some pretty nice stuff with simply the minimum. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that, and I will be glad to go through it with you. All right, until the next lesson, see ya!